What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Adrian Thompson. Today I'm going to give you my 5 streams of income that helps me make more than $100,000 a year. I'm going to be completely straight up and honest with you. This is not one of those typical entrepreneurship videos where it's essentially just a cheeky way to talk about Amazon FBA or affiliate marketing. I have a full-time job and you'll see the majority of this income comes from that position. Now that being said, let's dive right into it. So my first stream of income is being a medical device product specialist. I'm a product specialist for a Fortune 500 company, and to be completely honest with you, they're absolutely amazing to work for. They definitely have competitive pay and better pay than most other companies in the same area. Right now I make $72,000 a year just in the salary, and there's roughly $10,000 of benefits connected with that. That salary should go up over the next few years as I get promoted, but right now that is the amount I was hired at. My job is extremely challenging, but to be completely honest, the hours aren't too bad, and it's definitely great knowing that every day you leave work, knowing that you made somebody's life better. A lot of people who make videos of this style just straight up and utterly lie about how much they make, or they don't tell you how much they make at all. So I hope sharing how much I make just from my regular job gives you hope that you can be relatively successful just going into the workforce. And just because you're in the workforce doesn't mean you can't do things like this, like YouTube, on the side if you have the time. So that being said, let's move on to my second source of income. So my second source of income is actually mileage that I get for driving to and from different hospitals for my job. So the national rate that you get paid per mile is 57 cents. And that might not sound like a lot, but when you think about it, that 57-cent amount is calculated by the average amount of depreciation, gas, and repairs for every single car in that factor. So as long as your car is below average in terms of depreciation, as long as your car is above average in terms of how many miles per gallon it gets, you can actually turn that 57 cents into making a large amount of money. So since I drive a Honda Civic, I would say there's roughly an average of $10 per repair per tank of gas that I put in my car. My car actually gets 400 miles for each tank that I put into it. And because of that, I'm on track to roughly make $18,200 in revenue just from driving this year. But also keep in mind, I do drive a lot. So once you take out repairs and gas, after the year, I stand to make essentially $15,000 in mileage. But keep in mind, I'm using this profit not taking into consideration the depreciation in my car. If I look at Honda Civics that are 2 years older than mine with the amount of mileage I expect to put on the car, I should roughly be able to sell my current Honda Civic in 2 years for $9,000. I paid roughly $12,500 for my Honda Civic. So if you take that into consideration, my true profit is $12,500, but then I wouldn't be over 100K, so I'm not gonna actually use that. So my third stream of income, and this one's actually shocking to a lot of people, are surveys. I take a lot of Pew poll surveys. So if you don't know what Pew polls are, it's basically the official polls of the United States that says X amount of people support candidate A, or X amount of people believe in Christmas, or X amount of people think Thanksgiving is their favorite holiday. In college, I was absolutely broke as hell, so I decided to sign up to take these surveys. So they pay you anywhere between $7 and $10 to take, and it takes at most 10 minutes to take each survey. And because the world has been a little bit crazy for the past 4 years, on average, I roughly get 2 of these surveys per week. So if you extrapolate that over a year, I make roughly just at $1,000 in terms of taking these surveys. If you don't believe me, I actually have a few right here. So if you don't believe me, I actually have a few of them right here. So they are a legitimate thing. Here's 3 different ones. So I'll try to find the link that I used in order to sign up. I know I got an email of it while I was in college, but you should be able to find one to sign up in order to take these surveys. Keep in mind that there are trick questions built into the surveys once you start, so you can't just go through and click random answers and hit submit, because they will stop sending them to you. That's just a warning. I think if you need $10 or $50 or $40 a month can make or break you, then this is a great way just to get you over the edge for the month or for the year. So the next tip is honestly the tip that's going to separate the rich and the wealthy from the poor, and that is stock investments. So I'm not where I want to be in terms of how much money my investments are making me. They've made me a decent amount of money for the year. Right now, with about $8,000 invested, I've profited roughly $2,000 in investments. As you can see, this is honestly a great tool to use in order to not only grow your net worth, but to honestly relieve some financial stress off your back. As you get older, you'll notice that more of your money is actually tied up in stocks, and stocks are essentially the best passive incomes that you can make. Just think about retirement. Every 401k, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, those are set up to be essentially one day passive income for your older self to live off of. And honestly, next year, since I got in and purchased a lot of stock during the dip at the beginning of coronavirus, I expect this number to increase a decent amount going into 2021, hoping nothing crazy happens. If you guys would like me to make a video about which stocks I put my money into, I am more than happy to cover that as a topic. Keep in mind though that I am relatively new to investing in the sense of actually in practice. I've studied it my whole life. I just grew up poor, so never actually had the money to start investing. So I've made a decent amount of return on this year, so I might have some tips that I can give you. Just keep in mind, I'm not a professional and I'm just some guy on YouTube. That being said, my income total as of right now through 4 points is $9,900. So let's see how we can finish it off and get us over that $100,000 hump. So the fifth thing that has made me money this year is this YouTube channel. Actually, I'm completely kidding. We only have 263 subscribers, but it's definitely a dream of mine to make this YouTube channel monetizable. So one day I can do this as my full-time job. This is what I love doing. I really have always wanted this to be what I do day in and day out. So honestly, the last thing that I've done in order to make a decent amount of money this year, roughly $1,000, is just flipping technology, buying a MacBook, selling it, or buying an iPad and selling it at a higher price through OfferUp. It's not that difficult, and if you know a niche well enough, you'll be able to go in there, find the good offers, and flip it roughly 1 or 2 times a month, every single month, and that'll come out to be a decent amount of money at the end of the year. And that is what would get me over that $100,000 hump. Honestly though, one day I hope I can go back and look at this clip and go, hey, there's a version of me trying to achieve a goal of making this a monetizable YouTube channel, and hopefully that future version of me has completed that goal. So for everybody here at this point, I completely appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you guys liked this video. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I talked about in this video that you want me to extrapolate on in the comments or further on in another video, and I'll definitely get onto that. And remember, it may be hard now, but it doesn't always have to be. I'll see you in the next one.